since 1907. However, the Padres showed that the Cubs after all by beating them in consecutive games on Wednesday for the first time this season. Just a little something that the Pirates hope to build on this afternoon.
From Chicago, Illinois, this afternoon, the Pittsburgh Pirates meet the Chicago Cubs in the first of a three-game series. The Pirates' road trip continues. You are looking at the Ernie Banks statue, the great Hall of Famer who was famous for saying, "Let's play two." Greg Brown and Bob Walk outside Wrigley Field in Chicago. Well, they did play two the other day, these Cubbies, and incredibly enough, they were swept by the San Diego Padres. The longest a team had gone into a season losing back-to-back games, Bob, since 1929. They've been unbelievable.
They have gotten off to just a great start, and I think about that, how far they've gone before they've lost two games in a row. It is pretty amazing, and everybody said, I think in the preseason, that these guys were going to be a good team, but I don't know if anybody thought that they were going to get off to this kind of a start. They certainly have lived up to that early billing.
Let's take a look at some Barrel League leader stats for these guys. 25-8, the most wins through first 33 games since the 1998 Yankees. And Bob, they are beating teams badly. A 99 run differential, highest through 33 games since the 1939 Yankees.
Their start is kind of building into just a historic beginning to a season. And I think that's why it's so important that even though this is still an early season series with the Pirates, you want to make some kind of a statement here, I think, in May, and don't let them get too far out.
It has been a pretty evenly matched series between these two clubs over the last couple of years, but you take a look, of course, these two teams played in the wild card game, and the Cubs won that one, and they swept the Pirates at PNC Park the last homestand. So it is important that the Pirates try and make a statement right now.
Yeah, that last series, I think they outscored us 20-5, and if there was any statements being made, it was them making the statement, and I think that the club really needs to get back and do a little something as far as putting some doubt in the Cubs' minds of how good they are, and kind of getting a little confidence themselves. And there also is a little chipping going on between these two clubs, a little something going on there. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But as we were just saying, the Pirates need to make a little bit of a stand, and as Clint likes to say, put a foot down.
Well, the Pirates have the right man on the mound today. Francisco Liriano, the left-hander, has done great work against the Cubbies over his career. We'll talk about him and more as we continue from Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Pirates baseball. Head back to
on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Bordas and Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit BordasLaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
There he is, Francisco Liriano on the hill this afternoon for the Pirates. This road trip began with him on the mound in St. Louis a week ago today, and he beat the Cardinals 4-2, and he has done good work over the years against the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, Frankie's really kind of got that control where he wants to right now. He's been able to hit the spots he wants and get guys then to start chasing a little bit. And that's really always been his game, is getting the chases out of the strike zone. But he really has to prove that he can throw strikes at any point that he wants to. And certainly last time out, he was able to do that.
You look at his last 2 starts now, total of 2 walks in just under 14 innings, those games against the Reds and the Cardinals. And you see in his career at Wrigley Field, 4-1 with a 1.56 ERA in 5 starts.
Yeah, he's really loved pitching here. You know, it depends, you know, how the weather is at this ballpark. Sometimes, Greg, this place can be a pitcher's ballpark to where you love going out and playing here, as long as you get that wind in your favor.
There's their manager. And Joe Madden has led this team to a 25-8 record, their best start through 33 games since the team went 26-7 beginning the 1907 campaign. Anthony Rizzo has always been a tough out. He was extra good against the Pirates at PNC Park last time.
Oh, he's such an RBI machine. You really would like him to come up and hit with nobody on base all the time, but that's of course easier said than done with a lot of great hitters up and down this lineup all around Rizzo.
And you see what 2 guys in particular have done against left-handed pitching this season. Both switch hitters, Ben Zobrist and Dexter Fowler.
Just another example that there's not much about this Cup team that hasn't been going right. They got a lot of pluses, a lot of good stuff going on, and you know, Fowler and Zobrist, their numbers against lefties, that's just another example.
Dexter Fowler, who leads off for the Chicago Cubs, has the top on-base percentage in baseball at .458 overall. Well, the Pirates going to have to be swinging the bats, you figure, this afternoon in Game 1 of this 3-game series. They did that with a win on Wednesday against the Cincinnati Reds. Bucco bats look to keep blasting as the Pirates and Cubs meet at Wrigley coming up.
Guys, do you like
start and what a job he has done so far in 2016. Once again, Greg Brown and Bob Walk back with you. A little different Pirate offense going right now with Jung Ho Kang has made his return, and Andrew McCutchen is starting to heat up. So little different things going on for the Pirates right now.
Definitely a little bit different look to our offense in the first month. You're getting some more power, and Jung Ho really has gotten off to a fast start with that power, and that's something I think everybody was hoping for. And as we know, McCutchen every year, as soon as the weather starts warming up, he starts warming up, and you can see over the last 6 or 7 games, the bat's starting to really come around. He's hitting the ball hard, not chasing as many bad pitches, and the ball's going out of the ballpark for him.
Everybody talks about Jake Arrieta on this pitching staff, but Jason Hamill's numbers are phenomenal. You take a look at this right-hander going today. He's 4-0 with a 1.85 ERA. Now, the Pirates did pretty good work against him back on the 2nd of this month at PNC Park.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think the Pirates got going for him, going for them this afternoon, is they got to have a little bit of confidence. They get to see Hamill, somebody that they've hit well in the past, before they have to get into Arrieta, for instance. So I like this matchup here this afternoon.
All right, Arrieta's tomorrow. Today it's Hamill. And what about tips to win this afternoon?
Well, the tips to win this afternoon, the first one is going to be wait for your pitch. You know, the Pirates have done that very well this year, except for those 3 games against the Cubs. I thought they got a little overexcited and really got into it to where they were trying to hit the pitcher's pitch. And, you know, stay cool, but don't back down. There's a little chippiness going on between these two teams. We've seen some problems going back to last October, so don't lose your cool. Because I think if you lose your cool, then you go up there and you don't have those good at-bats where you're trying to stay deep and see a lot of pitches. And if you can get all that accomplished, if you can see a lot of pitches, we can make this Cub bullpen prove themselves. Now, beginning when the season first started, the one place where we thought maybe the Cubs might be weaker this year was the bullpen. Well, their bullpen has been very, very good. When they finally got touched up and lost 2 games in a row, it's because that bullpen in that game 1 against the Padres gave up 5 runs when they were handed the lead. Maybe that bullpen is not as good as everyone says it is. Hopefully we can get in there early and make them prove it.
All right, let's look forward to seeing the Pirates and the Chicago Cubs on a beautiful day for baseball. First pitch coming up shortly, but first, back to the studio and a game break.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Of course, the Pirates are going to try their best to contain the Cubs offense this afternoon. That will be a challenge, but the same can be said about the Red Sox, considering what they are doing at the plate as of late. Boston opening up a 4-game series in Houston last night by scoring 11 runs and topping the Astros. Not impressed? Okay. Well, that number comes after scoring 40 runs in the previous 3 games against the Oakland Athletics. While scoring 51 runs in 4 games, their opponents have scored just 16. Meanwhile, the Pirates will not see the Dodgers until late June, and that may be a good thing. Clayton Kershaw was his old self last night, going the distance in a 3-hit shutout of the Mets. Kershaw posted 13 strikeouts on 108 pitches and improved to 5-1 on the season. The lefty has reached double digits in Ks in 5 straight starts. That is a new club record. Action from last night, the Giants and the Diamondbacks. Top of the 5th, San Francisco up 2-1. Runner on first for Joe Panik, and he takes the high fastball from Zach Greinke and puts it in the seats in right. Frisco up 4-1. That would be plenty of run support for Joey Cueto.
Payoff pitch is coming up.
Johnny Cueto, excuse me, as he gets Paul Goldschmidt swinging to end the 5th. And then Goldschmidt again will go down swinging here in the 7th. 7 innings pitched, 9 Ks for Cueto, as the Giants win 4-2 is your final. To the OC for the Angels and the Cardinals. Top of the 5th, St. Louis trailing 5-3. 2 on for Matt Carpenter as he takes Jared Weaver deep down the right field line. That's number 7. St. Louis now with a 6-5 lead. 2 batters later, Matt Holliday with the runner aboard. 2-run shot to straightaway center. St. Louis now out in front, 8-5. Bottom 9, Cardinals up 12-8 in the shootout. Albert Pujols. A 2-run shot to deep center field against his former team. That gives Pujols a home run against all 30 Major League teams. St. Louis, a 12-10 winner last night. Okay, that's going to do it from here on the North Shore. Greg Brown and Bob Walk will have the starting lineups and the first pitch from Chicago when we return. Enjoy the Bucks and the Cubs on Root Sports.
lot of Bucco fans making the trip to Chicago for this weekend series against the Cubbies. Cubs came to Pittsburgh during the Pirates' last homestand and swept Pittsburgh in that 3-game series. And the Cubs flying high right now despite that doubleheader loss at the hands of the San Diego Padres. A day-night doubleheader here on Wednesday. Both the Pirates and the Cubs had yesterday off. Sun is shining, a nice breeze. And ready to play ball here at this historic Wrigley Field. And Jung Ho Kang playing against the Cubs for the first time since he was injured by a Cubs player on a slide last year. As we said moments ago, a little different look to this offense with Kang's return. And he brings so much to this Pirates club. Clint Hurdle was talking about that before the game in so many areas. The defense, the offense, the leadership, the camaraderie, and so forth. Cole Figueroa has returned, so the Pirates are back to normal these days with 5 now extra players on their bench. And 1 less pitcher. Kyle Lobstein was optioned to the minors. Jason Hamill comes out and makes the start for the Chicago Cubs, and you always look, Bob, as a starting pitcher at that, right?
Absolutely. Actually, you look at the flags when you go out the front door of the hotel. That's when you really check to see which way the wind's blowing. Right away, you can tell, is it blowing toward the lake? And if it is, then you know you're going to have to keep the ball down.
Here's the starting lineup brought to you by Toyota. John Jasel will be followed by Andrew McCutchen, a 300 hitter, lifetime against Hamill. Gregory Polanco hits third, then it's Starling Marte and Francisco Cervelli with Jung Ho Kang at third base. Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, Francisco Liriano, the starting 9 for Clint Hurdle's Bucks.
You can take a look at Hamill's numbers. The ERA outstanding still at 185. Has not lost this year. 212 opponent average. Everything in very good shape. But I think we're going to get to him a little bit today. At least I got my fingers crossed, Greg. Going to get this offense off to a good start for this weekend series.
They've done pretty good work over the years against Hamill. We'll check out the defense brought to you by Honda. Dexter Fowler is the center fielder. And then it's Jorge Soler and Jason Hayward with Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo on the corners. Addison Russell, Ben Zobrist up the middle. And behind the plate, it is David Ross.
See that Pirate bench trying to get some enthusiasm going there.
John Jaso leading things off for the Pirates. And because the Pirates were rained out on Tuesday and Jaso got the night off against Alfredo Simon on Wednesday. Now, he did pinch hit in that ball game. He's essentially had 3 days off.
Like an all-star break.
Yeah. First pitch and we're underway. Jason Hamill off to an outstanding start this year. And a breaking ball for a strike.
It's a little bit of a danger when you have that, you know, I'm going to hit my pitch, going to try to make him go deep. With a guy like Hamill, sometimes they won't let him do that.
Oh, 3-pitch strikeout.
When I was looking around and getting ready to do the Rivers Casino Tips to Win drink, I was looking at Hamill and how many pitches that he throws per plate appearance, and it's under 4. It's only 3 something, like 3.9, which I think is pretty darn good. So he's one of those guys that's tough to get deep into counts because he likes to throw the strikes early, and so he kind of forces you into being a little aggressive.
Well, okay, be aggressive, so swing at the first pitch, and that's what Andrew McCutchen does. And a 7-game hitting streak for Andrew McCutchen.
Bang that one hard. But you can really tell that sun's out a lot more. Summer's coming. This catcher's getting hot.
Brings up Gregory Polanco. Polanco. A tough road trip for him. 3 for 20 on this trip. That's a 150 batting average. He's 0 for his last 8. And just 1 hit in his last 12 at bats. But he also is a .300 career hitter against Tampa. So hopefully he'll get it going. A strike, the home plate umpire, Pat Hoberg.
I was watching Kutch as he was taking his leads after having to dive back. He really got a lot of wet clay, the dirt all over his gloves. They have really wet down that area around first base.
And like so many teams we have seen, the scouting report is to try and keep McCutchen close, even though he does not steal. That's what you're talking about there, Bob. Caked already in that clay.
That wet, almost mud all over him.
A ball and a strike on Polanco.
The reason I was pointing that out early in a ball game, when the grounds crew is really wet down the field, it can be a little different, I guess, when they're taking your lead. How much of a jump do you get? Is that dirt? Is it real sticky? I guess the guy we would get the read off of would be Marte, because he's the one that seems to at times spin his wheels when he tries to take any kind of a jump.
One ball, 2 strikes on Gregory Polanco. Just underway here at Wrigley. And Jason Hamill strikes out 2 of the first 3 batters he faces.
Good command of that last pitch. What was that fastball? Right up and in.
Hamill doing his best Jake Arrieta impersonation, even to the point where he sports that beard like his teammate. And his earned run average of 185 is 4th lowest in the league. Arrieta's minuscule 113. Starling Marte at the plate with a .336 average. Tied for 7th in the senior circuit, and he takes strike 1 from this 33-year-old Jason Hamill. Hamill's mom lives in the Butler area. His brother, longtime resident of Pittsburgh. Brother Bill, I'm sure, watching. This ball bounced weakly towards short. And on to first. Russell to Rizzo. Half inning. Bucks nothing, and Francisco Liriano takes the hill. Fans on hand here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Chicago Cubs starting lineup looks like this. Dexter Fowler, Jason Hayward, and Chris Bryant. Anthony Rizzo hitting cleanup, and it's Ben Zobrist. Last 10 games, a .441 average. Jorge Soler, Addison Russell, David Ross, and Jason Hamill. The manager, Joe Madden.
Take a look at Frankie's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai. His seventh start. Everything in pretty good shape. A little wild for a couple of starts there. Walks are up at 19, a little higher than he'd like them. But striking a lot of guys out. Still more strikeouts than innings pitched. It's always a nice feather in any pitcher's cap to be able to say that.
Incredible start for Dexter Fowler so far. .458 on base percentage. He's 9th in the league in hitting.
Got a chase. Third pitch of the game. Off speed pitch. Way low. Got a swing and a miss.
And another.
Yeah. 2 in a row. That's a good sign. First hitter of the ball game. You got him leaving the strike zone.
Dexter Fowler down on strikes. That brings up Jason Hayward. Hayward did not play in that series at PNC Park.
No, that'll set the early tone.
Yeah, that kind of sends your message to you.
Fastball up and in. First pitch you see.
And then looks at a strike. Hayward has a little 4-game hitting streak going after snapping an 0 for 20 hitless string last Friday. He was bothered a little bit by a wrist, and that slump that kept him out of that game, those games at PNC Park. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 5-2 in 11 career starts against the Cubs, Liriano. But since joining the Pirates, beginning of the 2013 season, a 1.90 career ERA versus the Chicago Cubs. And they're hitting 164 against him. Three and 2. Walked him after striking out Fowler and after getting a couple strikes on Hayward.
Yeah, really set him up nice. Got that fastball up and in to begin with. They got the 2 strikes that put him away.
These Cubs lead the major leagues, having walked 173 times. 24 more walks than the next closest club, the Giants. Hayward has 4 steals in 5 attempts. Francisco Cervelli has done a nice job throwing out runners this season. He's thrown out 8 base runners trying to steal against him. Meanwhile, the Rookie of the Year in 2015, Chris Bryant, who hit .417 against the Pirates in that series in Pittsburgh. Cubs swept the Bucks by scores of 7-2, 7-1, and 6-2. Series a week and a half ago at PNC Park. Drives it to center field, and McCutchen for the second out.
I kind of got that off the end of the bat. Well, he didn't hit it very well with all the incredible power he has. If he gets into one and it leaves the bat at that angle, there's not much going to keep it from going out of the ballpark. You just got to hope it's soft contact, a little in toward the handle or out toward the end of the bat like that one was.
Rizzo's teammates join in as he steps to the plate. Third in the league with 29 RBIs. .174 lifetime against Liriano, so he has kept him in check. In on him. And on to first for Gong to get Rizzo, and that's one down here at Wrigley. 0-0, Bucks Cubs.
A World Series flag, 1908, the last time they did it. I'm Robbie Mikowski here at Wrigley Field. Well, the renovation, it's a long project taking place over many years, continued this past winter, and it started on the club side, Cubs side. One of the major things is that brand new clubhouse that the Cubs have. It is gorgeous, 30,000 square feet, replacing the old one that was just 14,000 square feet. Just to give you an idea, Greg and Bob, of how small the old clubhouse was at Wrigley, not to mention being in the visitors clubhouse, you know how small it is. It is now a batting cage. They replaced the old clubhouse with a batting cage in place of that big one. It's also 20 feet below the ground out here by the left field plaza that's going, so they actually have to physically go underground to get to their new clubhouse instead of the tiny old one.
All right, that's where the batting cages used to be. And Francisco Cervelli at the plate. Ballpark that is in its 101st year, Wrigley Field. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cervelli. Followed by Jung Ho Kang and Josh Harrison. Cervelli, no hits in his last 7 at-bats, 2 in his last 13 ABs. Career .417 hitter against Hamill. And it's 3-1.
Now this is the kind of at-bat that the Pirates have really kind of made a name for themselves having, but it's tough against Hamill to be able to take these many pitches and not have him throw strikes.
And to short. Routine. 1 out. Russell to Rizzo. Hamill, 33 years old, born in Greenville, South Carolina, has bounced around professional ball, was originally drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2002. Spent 3 seasons there, was dealt to the Colorado Rockies, spent 3 years in Denver. Jung Ho Kang takes strike 1.
3 home runs already. What an impact he instantly had on the Pirates. 6 RBIs.
Middle of September last year, suffered that really horrific injury. Cubs' Chris Coghlan ripping up his left knee, lower leg. Very traumatic injury. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Coghlan no longer with the Cubs, by the way. And Hamill gets his 3rd strikeout. Fireworks will light up the Pittsburgh skyline coming up on Thursday at PNC Park. Watch the Pirates and Braves meet at 7:05 after the game. A Zambelli fireworks show. For tickets, go to pirates.com. An upcoming homestand beginning on Monday night with the Atlanta Braves. 4 with the Braves, 3 with the Rockies, and then 3 with the Diamondbacks. A 10-game homestand after this, what will turn out to be an abbreviated 8-game road trip. Pirates took 2 of 3 in St. Louis. And a perfect bunt by Josh Harrison. He was just 1 for 13 against Hamill in his career, so he decides to get on via the bunt.
It behoove him now to try and steal second, get into scoring position as quick as he can with 2 outs. They're playing deep with 2 outs. They're going to give him that bunt. You see with Mercer, they're going to play the same way. They'll play back.
He is 5 for 5 in the stolen base department, so wouldn't be surprised to see him take off quickly. And there he goes, taken for a ball. There'll be no throw.
So that bunt, he turned it into a double, and that's, the old rule of thumb. The only guys that should be bunting with 2 outs, nobody on, or 2 outs at any time really, are guys that have an ability to steal second base so they can quickly get themselves into scoring position. Now that's exactly what Jay has done.
6 out of 6 in steals. Ross wanted to unload it, but couldn't get a grip. So now Jordy Mercer, who delivered the game-winning hit against the Reds on Wednesday, has a chance to put the Pirates in front. Hits over 300 in his career against Hamill.
This is those situations, Greg, that makes it tough to hit in that 8 spot. A runner in scoring position with an open base. The pitcher's always going to have a tendency to be very difficult with you and at least attempt not to give you anything really good to hit.
Headed toward the left side of the infield, and there's the shortstop. Russell showing great range and throwing out Mercer. 0-0. Devastating loss and personal struggles in his life. Al Oliver found brilliant success in Major League Baseball. Catch up with the former Pirates All-Star. See how he overcame hard hits to achieve great heights on a special Inside Pirates Baseball Al Oliver scoop Monday after postgame on Root Sports.
What a hitter he was, man.
Oh, just line drives laced all over the field.
Opposing pitchers feared Al Oliver as much as anybody on that team. He absolutely could hit anybody and vicious line drives.
So here,
gorgeous afternoon, isn't it?
it sure is.
Beautiful out here. Light sunshine.
We thank Pete Toma and the Cubs for allowing us to actually see the game. They had the windows removed for us. Thanks for that. Prefer it this way rather than having to look through 2 panes of glass, you know.
I
At least
understand.
it's me.
It's just you. It's just you.
No, it wasn't. Let's be clear.
No, that's the whole point. Let's be clear.
Yeah. Wow. Strikeout for Liriano is his second. But radio side of the Cubs, Pat Hughes on your left and Ron Coomer, I guess they prefer the windows in. So that's okay. Whatever you prefer. And again, they're gracious enough to remove them for us. I mean, it is what, May the 13th. Beautiful day.
Absolutely gorgeous
Prefer
outside.
to be outside. Jorge Soler has been in and out of the lineup recently. We're trying to get him going.
So there is something that's not clicking for them.
Hard to believe.
Soler hitting 175. And they have already had to deal with a pretty big injury.
Kyle Schwarber hurt beginning of the year.
Out for the season. He was a bat that they were really depending on.
And there's Soler going the other way. Joe Madden hopes to have Miguel Montero, his left-handed hitting catcher, back soon. Out with some back issues.
Hung one there, didn't he? Soler just pushing it the other direction.
Addison Russell now. Russell was 3 for 11 in that series in Pittsburgh, walked 3 times. A lot of talent on this team, including that young man, Addison Russell. Might have broken his bat. Quick flip, there's one, and not in time. Two
Just
outs.
didn't quite hit it very hard there. If he hadn't have broken his bat, that would have probably been a nice firm ground ball and would have been an easy double play. But the bat breaking, and that was it. Only was able to get one. That's all right. You'll take one. Addison can run really well. Still think it's kind of amazing they were able to acquire a shortstop named Addison.
Yeah, perfect, right?
See, everything's going their way.
Yeah.
They've got the right names on their team.
Ballpark located at Clark and Addison. David Ross now 0 for his last 9.
I'm seeing a lot of action behind the plate.
Montero been out, so he has been in there, and that just his second hit in his last 14 at bats.
At 39 years old, though, there's going to be a point here where it's got to take a little toll off of him, I would think, to be back there squatting down and playing as much as he is. You can hear that bat breaking. Batting average up over 200. And trying to hit like Ariel.
Oh, and 2 on Hamill. Career 138 average. Liriano takes care of his mound opponent. 3 strikeouts for Liriano. The Cubs strand a couple. 2 innings down. 0-0. scored 0-0 on to the third inning. Here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Day automotive this day in Pirates history. What a day it was. 1952, Ron Netchai threw a no-hitter for the Pirates. Class D Bristol Twins, struck out 27. A professional baseball record. He did allow 4 base runners. Hit a man, walked another. One batter reached on a missed third strike by the catcher. Netchai would make it to the big leagues later and suffered what turned out to be career-ending torn rotator cuff for the great Ron Netchai. On this date, May 13th, 1952. What still an incredible performance.
And Netch was just born a little too soon.
Yeah,
They could probably fixed him up.
That's right.
Nowadays.
We marvel at the recent 20 strikeout performance by Scherzer. How about 27? And how about Francisco Liriano? Speaking of good hitting pitchers, now batting over 300 for the year, collects his 6th hit.
If there was ever any doubt of what you can accomplish when you go out and you put some importance to it and you really make that effort, all you got to do is look at the way Liriano's hit the last 2 years and then prior to that. And he really put the effort in a couple of years ago in spring training, and look what he's done.
Double play ball. Just like that, 2 outs.
No, this time Jaso trying to be a little more proactive. The first time up, he took first 2 pitches, got behind 0-2. So here he's aggressive, and this didn't work out either. He's pulled an outside pitch, rolled over on it, put it on the ground.
Zobrist to Russell to Rizzo. Now McCutchen. And McCutchen's second hit. There'll be extra bases.
See, that's a more conventional way with 2 outs. So you just go ahead and hit the double. But like we were saying, if you can bunt and steal the base, you can do it that way also. Kutch is 2 for 2. Went down and got that off-speed pitch. The Fowler must have really been playing over toward right center for him, because he really didn't pull that ball much at all and easily got through the ivy.
Eighth double for McCutchen. Polanco struck out in the first.
Worked him up and in pretty good with some fastballs at first AB. I love the way Ross catches that curveball back against his chest protector like that. Really gives that ball plenty of time to break down and catch the top part of that strike zone if it's going to. Gives the illusion that the ball is much lower than it really was.
That's Bill Welke, the crew chief, saying no swing. 2-0 the first 3 weeks or so of the season. Polanco was the top 5 in terms of walks drawn. Not as many in the last couple of weeks. Been swinging at pitches maybe out of the zone a bit. 3-0.
That was an important first pitch for him to take for ball 1. Really changed this at bat around in his favor as opposed to that first at bat. Oh, they're not even going to pitch to him. That was an intentional walk. Anytime on a 3-0 count you see the catcher set up behind the opposite batter's box, you know it's an intentional walk. Just disguised it.
So we'll go after Marte. Righty's hitting just 188 against Hamill. Left-handed hitters 245 on the year. You got Marte to bounce out to the shortstop Russell to end the first.
It would be nice to pick up 1 or 2 runs here, considering that at one point it was 2 outs, nobody on. I'll take a home run type swing on that one. He's hunting fastball. Didn't get one.
Close.
He's able to take the fastball that's just off the plate, but both breaking balls in the same exact spot, couldn't hold back. It's all about what that ball looks like in its early flight to the plate. That's when you're making your mind up whether you swing or not. And the breaking ball obviously looks like it's going to be a strike right out of the hand.
You know, that pitch was well out in front of the plate. Marte was anxious even there. Got the impression had that pitch been anywhere close, he would have been offering 2-2. Discussion came up in Clint Hurdle's office today about the quote Marte had recently after being hit by pitches so often, that Marte saying that's been affecting his at-bats, his swings. Clint Hurdle said he would never dishonor what one of his players said, but he has not seen Marte impacted by it. Down on strikes. 4 Ks for Hamill. Pirates lead 2 more. 0-0. Home, a Raise the Jolly Roger bobblehead. When the Bucks play the Rockies May 21st, 4:05. Arrive early. First 20,000 fans take home a Raise the Jolly Roger bobblehead. Presented by Allegheny Health Network. For tickets, go to pirates.com. It'll be the Pirates and the Rockies. The 21st. That's a Saturday afternoon, 1 week from tomorrow. Pirates home Monday night against the Atlanta Braves. Return to PNC Park, and there's a bunt try by Fowler that's fouled off. Fowler struck out in the first. Switch hitter batting right-handed, of course, against Liriano. Fowler in his second year with the Cubs. Signed a one-year deal February 25th to return to the north side. At .250 last year, 17 homers, 46 RBIs.
Mariano doing a nice job keeping him honest. These pitches in on him.
Francisco Liriano strikes out his fourth, second time he's gotten Fowler.
Really already got a number of chases for whiffs, for swings and misses on balls down out of the strike zone. This game, to right now to this point, this is exactly what you see when Frankie is really on his game, throwing enough strikes to get the opposition hitters to start chasing his pitch.
Walked Fowler in the first, now falls behind in 3-0 in this third inning. For a pitch walk to Hayward.
Yeah, normally you throw a 3-0 pitch that close, I'll give it to you. I'm surprised that was called ball 4. Frankie kind of shaking his head there a little bit. No, I think he's a little surprised too.
Ball one on Bryant.
Yeah, last time out, he was able to take some of the sting out of Bryant's bat. He got the ball out on the very end of it. It was hit pretty well to center field. But it just kind of shows you how dangerous Bryant can be, especially on an afternoon where the wind is in his favor.
And now 2-0.
Right now the wind's blowing a little left to right more than out.
Three and 0.
Ray is probably feeling pretty good up until about 5 pitches ago. And Ray looking on, hoping to see a ground ball here.
And a fly ball to right, shallow. Harrison having trouble with it, now finds it and makes the catch.
Fighting the sun initially. You can see the reflection coming off his sunglasses. He got it.
Either way, they were going to get an out. But it's Bryant who's retired. The 2 outs as Bryant swings at that 3-0 pitch and pops up. Here is Rizzo. Talking about pitching to Marte, and if Marte's been impacted at all by being hit by all the pitches, well, no one was hit more than Anthony Rizzo last year. 30 times. Tops in the big leagues. And the most in the major leagues since Jason Kendall was hit 31 times. The former Pirates catcher back in 1998. And many people who follow the Cubs will tell you that it's Rizzo's approach to being totally unconcerned about those inside pitches that has made him such a tough hitter. Danny Espinosa of the Nationals along with Marte, and there's Rizzo.
Hey, you pitch inside for a reason, and that's so that the hitter will give you something away. That pitch right there.
Liriano gets his 5th strikeout. 0-0 through 3.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates and Cubs playing the first of this 3-game series at Wrigley. Then the Pirates return home to PNC Park starting on Monday night. Cubs off to just this vicious start. 25-8. Best start through 33 games since they were 26-7 back in 1907.
I feel like what's that insect that comes out of the ground? Cicadas?
What, every 100 years they
every
get
100
to a great
years or so,
start.
yeah.
1-1 on Cervelli.
Cervelli had one of those good deep counted bats last time up.
1908. Last time they won a World Series. Last time they were in one was 1945, I believe. Two and one the count. Hamill went through a grueling off-season workout. Hoping to be better conditioned throughout this year after getting off to a strong first half last season, a 2.86 ERA before the All-Star break, but in the second half his earned run average ballooned to 5.10. Strike three call. So Jung Ho Kang, who struck out his first at bat since against the Chicago Cubs, this injury. There's Chris Coughlin, the high slide, and tears up that left leg. September 17th, 2015. And he has come all the way back, returning to the Pirates on this road trip a week ago when he hit 2 home runs against the Cardinals last Friday night. Joe Madden, for some reason, called it after the game plantar fasciitis. He said that's what he heard.
No, he was just ill-informed, is all.
Yes, that's all. Miscommunication, perhaps.
You know, after watching the slide, you could see where he would think that.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't a stupid comment on his part.
No. Or whoever told him it wasn't stupid either. Gong with a fly ball to center. 2 outs. Hamill looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Had the first 2 outs in the second before Harrison dropped down the bunt. And Chris Bryant comes into the edge of the grass at third. Harrison, a one-time Cub draft pick. He was back in 2008 out of the University of Cincinnati. Spent 2 years in their minor league system before being dealt to the Pirates, along with a couple of pitchers, Jose Escanio and Kevin Hart, and the Cubs got Tom Gorzolani and John Grabo in return. Two years ago, Harrison became an all-star.
The transformation of Jay Hay, it really has been fun to watch. He's gone from a utility player, kind of that spark plug that you would occasionally put into the lineup to try and, you know, maybe jumpstart the offense, get it going, to, you know, I look at him now as one of the team leaders.
Yeah.
You see a lot of the media will go to Jay Hay for quotes about the game, and rightly so. I mean, he's becoming one of the guys that speak for the players. A very important member of this team.
I'd like to see him pick up an RBI somewhere along the line. The Pirates are 14-2. And Jay Hay collects an RBI. With the home run in the 8th inning on Wednesday night against the Reds that tied it. Andrew McCutchen certainly still considered the team leader. He also homered Wednesday. But that was pretty impressive. The only reason Harrison had a chance to tie the game on Wednesday night was because Starling Marte had been ejected in the game. And so Sean Rodriguez, who was starting at second, was moved to left. And Harrison, who was supposed to be getting the night off, forced to play second. His first at bat, he homered and tied it, and they won it. And there's a swinging bunt. Bryant is there and out at first. 1-2-3 for Hamill. Going to the bottom of the fourth inning. David Freese on the bench this afternoon, but was leading off and playing first base on Wednesday and was hit by a pitch in the ninth inning against the Reds by Ross Ohlendorf. And today the league suspended Ohlendorf 3 games, fined an undisclosed amount, and Brian Price, the manager, also suspended for 1 game for actions regarding Ohlendorf. The Pirates were hit 4 times by Reds pitchers on Wednesday. Both benches had been warned after Juan Nicasio hit Brandon Phillips in the bottom of the fourth inning. That after Francisco Cervelli was buzzed by an Alfredo Simon pitch, and Jung Ho Kang was hit. Line drive down the line and left by Zobrist. Nice work by Marte to get to it quickly. And Zobrist has been a tremendous addition to this lineup.
This is one of the things that Marte wins Gold Gloves for, because balls hit down toward that corner. He turns them into singles. He's got that big arm. Once he's able to cut a ball off, not too many guys will keep going on him, because he can turn and put that ball right on the bag.
Jorge Soler. Two and 0. Trying to come back after falling behind 2-0.
Well, the key to this was there was no patience on that 2-0 pitch. Soler kind of guessing strike, took a big rip at what could have been ball 3, and then if it goes to 3-0, then that changes what Francisco can throw after that. Well, Liriano really, most of the time, I mean, nothing's etched in stone, but most of the time, he'll really handle a guy that's known as a free swinger. Guy that goes up there and kind of a swing at anything type hitter. Watch the spot on this one, Greg.
Wow.
Soler does take one, and it should have been a strike.
So it did not get that strike 3 called from Hoberg. Very well should have. It was a perfect pitch. Now 2 on and nobody out here in the 4th. Ball 1. Addison Russell has hit into 4 double plays this season, and most on the Cubs.
Kind of interesting the way that the infield defense is set up against him, Greg. You hardly ever see the left side of the infield be open against a right-handed hitter, especially with a lefty on the mound. But that's the way it is with Addison. The Pirates have Mercer holding on the runner at second base. And they got Jay playing off. So the big hole in this instance is actually on his pull side. And the spray chart must show a lot of ground balls to the right side of the infield.
And 2-2 on Russell. Wish they would take a strikeout here also. Dexter Fowler has struck out the most times on the club, 33. Russell has struck out 26 times. And now it is 3-2.
All missing just a tad inside.
Fly ball to deep left field. This one's going to be way out of here. Addison Russell, a 3-run homer, his third. It's 3-0 Cubs.
I tried to throw another pitch back up and in, kind of almost exact spot where that one missed before. But he just didn't get this one in very far. It was up, but the ball just drifted out over the middle part of the plate. A day like today, a well-hit fly ball is going to reach those stands most of the time.
The 6th allowed by Liriano, the 3rd hit by Russell this season. The 3-2 pitch. David Ross singled in the second. In the air to right. Polanco battling the sky.
Very difficult with looking up into that sun here in the day game.
One out.
Very bright out there this afternoon. We noticed that when we were doing our pregame work there before the game.
Yes, we did.
It'll be a tough sun. Very different than the first day here yesterday. Overcast all day. A lot of drizzle.
Two and one on the pitcher, Hamill. Falls behind him 3-1.
Should be a little bit of a cold front coming through later on tonight, though. It'll be cooler tomorrow.
And a base hit.
Hit that one pretty hard. But a lot of times when it gets a little on the colder side, that wind will turn around and start blowing in. So tomorrow might be a totally different scenario for these hitters. Lace that one in the center field. Soft about it. Looks like Drake really trying to calm him down a little bit. Looks like he's settling down. Perhaps he's seen maybe a little bit too much emotion after that base hit and then giving up the 3-run homer.
MLB.tv Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
A lot of times when you're in that dugout, I think as a pitching coach, you're looking out there watching your pitcher, but you're reading different things. Sometimes it's a mental thing. Do you see, body language that you don't like or whatever? Or is there something mechanical going on? An arm slot starting to fall. Maybe a shoulder, a back shoulder dipping too far. Little things like that. But I think during the game, when you're actually going out there and talking, most of the time it's a talk about the mental aspect, not so much as you're dropping your shoulder or anything like that, because that's almost unfixable during a game.
Sharply hit, and that is a double play, but damage done here. Zobrist started the inning with the hit, then the walk to Soler, and Addison Russell the home run. It's 3-0 Cubs.
Cubs thanks to Addison Russell's 3-run home run on a full count. Well, today's Allegheny Health Network injury update features minor league pitcher Nick Kingham, and he's making his way back from Tommy John surgery. And a few days ago, he knocked a pretty big item off the to-do list in his return to the pitch program. He's faced live hitters for the first time since having the surgery last May. Now, he threw 15 pitches, all fastballs, over 3 hitters after he threw 25 warm-ups in the bullpen. Now, head athletic trainer Todd Tomczyk said he'll throw another live BP session today and perhaps one more in a week before he gets into a sim game. Then, if he progresses well, Greg and Bob, he'll make his way into a Gulf Coast League game as he works his way back to the normal workload after that. So some good progress for Nick Kingham, one of many Pirates pitchers in the system have experienced Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, Robbie, unfortunate, and hoping that Nick Kingham gets back on track. To see that at least that process has started. This guy knows about Tommy John surgery years ago. Francisco Liriano underwent that ligament replacement surgery as Jordy Mercer is quickly the first out here in the 5th.
Well, this scenario, Greg, you sure would like to answer right away, wouldn't you? After giving up those 3 runs in big series like this, game 1, you don't want the Cubs to gain momentum. And that's what I felt like they were able to do at our ballpark. They were able to get some momentum going, and I know that you know, in baseball, momentum is kind of a hard thing to pin down, but in a game, a particular game, you can certainly feel it when you're in the dugout. And it doesn't really mean a whole lot for the next day, but when you're sitting in the dugout and things aren't going your way, and you actually, it's a feeling you get. Now, it doesn't mean it can't stop and you can turn things around, and it doesn't mean you're behind either. You get that same feeling if you like score a couple early in a game, and how it's the 7th inning and it's still 2-0. Well, even though you're ahead, you feel that the momentum has shifted to the other side just because you were never able to add on. And you start to worry a little bit. Is that going to bite us late because we weren't able to increase the score at all? So there is such a thing as momentum, I feel, in baseball for one game, for a particular game.
Liriano is the second out. John Jaso will be coming to the plate. He'll take his time. Point Park University tweet. Jason's dreads Hamill's beard. I'm sorry, that says Jaso. Sorry, our monitor is not greater than. Yeah, taking the rivalry on the road. So Jason's dreads greater than Hamill's beard. You could read it better than we could.
I can see that.
Yeah.
There we are.
The ones that sent that tweet. Well, these two were battery mates for a brief time with Tampa Bay.
Look at that. Judge Dredd.
A 1-out single. They like it.
Taught that beard a lesson.
John Jaso's first action in the major leagues behind the plate. He caught Jason Hamill, who was relieving back then with Tampa Bay.
I saw they had a fairly friendly conversation over at first base when Hamill got his base hit.
They go way back. Now Andrew McCutchen. I was talking about answering. Well, this would be a good time to do that. After they get those 3 quick ones from Addison Russell. McCutchen wanted that one. First baseman Rizzo will hang with it and make the catch for the final out.
Maybe that sign would get him also.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. We'll beat anybody's price. Find out more at barrel.com. Let's go Bucks!
Harry Carey, such a huge part of the Cubs atmosphere for so many years, and they still pay tribute to the former Cubs voice for the 7th inning stretch, and have a guest conductor. And prior to Harry Carey, it was Jack Brickhouse and his home run call. Hey, hey. And a base hit for Jason Hayward. He's on base each of the 3 times, and this was one of the big problems for the Pirates, that 3-game series. A large reason why the Cubs were able to sweep the Pirates. 19 of the 27 innings played at PNC Park, the Cubs got their leadoff man on in that series. Only 8 innings where the Pirates pitcher retired a Cub leadoff hitter.
And many times that leadoff hitter got himself into scoring position.
And Liriano was able to retire the leadoff man in each of the first 3 innings, but now back-to-back times. Zobrist single to start the 4th, and here Hayward singles to begin the 5th.
It seemed like all the Cub hitters were always up in the high leverage situation.
High leverage.
And I could tell because they were using a little extra long bats.
Oh yes, that would be high leverage.
Always looking to get an edge, Cubbies.
That's leverage.
Yeah, longer bat.
Yes, I know that would make more sense.
Gives them extra leverage.
And 1 on Chris Bryant. Bryant puts a charge into 1. 2-run homer. It's 5-0 Cubs. His 6th.
Well, look how Bryant was able to. I was curious where that pitch was going to be, Greg. That ball is off the plate inside, and he's still able to get the head of the bat to it. I was reading something a couple of days ago about Bryant's swing, that he's been trying to not hit the ball this year at such a high angle. Trying to be more of a line drive type hitter.
There's a high fly ball to center field. McCutchen is back. Off his glove. I assume they'll give Rizzo a double. Remember, Rizzo had an at-bat last time they were at PNC Park, where McCutchen had a ball hit off his glove, initially ruled an error. They changed it a few days later, and there's a ball I'm sure McCutchen will say should have had. He had some room.
It's a different ballpark here for the outfielders. This is a little old school. You got the short stadium, a little different background than you have everywhere else except for PNC Park. You got bricks back there instead of padding.
They do give him a double.
They don't make it don't make him like this anymore. There's the view that you can see how short the stadium really is and how immediately that ball gets up into the sky. Not much of a backdrop.
Zobrist 1 for 2. Ryan Vogelsong in the Pirates bullpen. Able to get out of any trouble in the first inning after walking Hayward with 1 out. He was stranded, 2 men aboard in the second, but struck out the pitcher Hamill, walked a man in the third, then got a pop up and a strikeout. But his troubles began when this man at the plate, Zobrist, led off with a hit last inning. And he walked Soler, gave up the home run on the 3-2 pitch to Russell. Single homer double here in the 5th. Chris Bryant's 6th home run of the season. And another walk. That's 4 for Liriano.
Yeah, that's not a bad walk when you're down 5-0. You have the open base. The guy at the plate has been wearing out left-handed pitching, and you have a guy coming up next that's really been scuffling. I think you almost have to try and pitch around Zobrist in that scenario. You certainly can't afford, even with the wind blowing out, to give up any more runs. You're going to have to score 6 to win this game now, and that's if you throw shutout innings the rest of the game. You have to throw every pitch now perfect. Soler keeps thinking that's a low fastball, doesn't he?
One and 2 on Soler. First out. 6 punch outs for Liriano.
Soler just cannot believe that he's not getting fastballs to hit. He keeps swinging way out in front of all of these pitches. But that's why you had to pitch around Zobrist to bring him up. Second and first need a double play ball.
Two on, 1 out, down 5.
Remember last time Russell was hitting, we talked about the middle infielder string?
Yeah. Now
Jay was playing over in the hole.
Yeah.
Mercer was holding on the runner. Exact opposite in this scenario.
Yeah. Why that's...
Now Jay holding on the runner and Mercer's playing in the hole.
Why would you figure that is?
don't know. I thought it was odd that they were giving him the left side of the infield last time. Now they're playing a little more traditional. They're trying to take the left side of the infield away.
Nick Leyva positions the infielders.
The last time it didn't matter anyway.
Same count. Strike 3 call.
Take a look, see where. Right at the very bottom of the strike zone. You could see the flight of the ball there in that camera shot. Went right across the knees. Gives you a little look at how accurate that strike zone is. Ball goes right over the top of the knees, and that's right where the strike zone showed it to be.
Ball's behind. Ross 2-0. A lot of pitches this inning, and Liriano basically hoping to give the Pirates 5. Get out of this. That's hit well. David Ross hits a 3-run homer. 8-0 Cubs. Cubs hit 3 home runs today. That'll be it for Liriano as David Ross. It's his 3rd home run of the season.
They tried to keep him honest with an inside fastball, and Ross just simply turned on it. He was too quick in there.
Early exit for Liriano. 8-0 Cubs. So much. 8-0 Chicago. David Ross crushes his 3rd home run, and an 8 spot handed to Liriano in 4 2/3, and now Ryan Vogelsong faces Jason Hamill. Addison Russell A 3-run homer. Chris Bryant, 2-run homer. David Ross, 3-run homer.
Some days this can be a wonderful ballpark to pitch in. Days like today, warm, bright sun, wind blowing out. The ball can get out of here so easily.
The Pirates pitchers have given up 44 home runs now this season. Only the Reds and Brewers have given up more. Down on strikes goes Hamill. Eight-zip Chicago.
Authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
8-0. Chicago leads it. Addison Russell started this barrage with that home run. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Chris Bryant and David Ross with home runs. We talked about this at the outset. Not only are the Cubs winning games at 25-8, but they are pounding opponents. That run differential we discussed at the top of the telecast.
Yeah, they're not winning a lot of close games, are they?
Coming into this game, plus 99 run differential. Nearly more than the combined differential of the two next closest teams. Boston is a plus 58, St. Louis a plus 52. So the other teams in baseball not even close in terms of run differential. Best run differential through this many of games, as we said at the open, since the 1939 New York Yankees were a plus 107. Won't be easy for him tomorrow. He's posted against Jake Arrieta, and then Sunday Garrett Cole against John Lester. Polanco walked his last time up. There's Jake Arrieta. Cubs have won his last 20 starts. That extends the franchise record. And Polanco lines one deep to right. And that will hit the wall, so a leadoff double for Gregory Polanco to start the 6th.
Need to start chipping away at that run differential. Line drive right off the base of that brick wall. Another little deal about this ballpark, you never ever can really tell what kind of bounce you're going to get. If it hits, you know, a couple of the vines, maybe it's going to stay in there, maybe it's going to fall straight down, maybe it's going to hit mostly brick and come back off hard. You know how many baseballs are just stuck in those vines? Yeah, it might hit where the sign is. The 353 might come off clean. There's no foul territory really down in those corners. You got maybe 6 inches that the ball can land foul. It's like the foul line goes right along the wall.
How about that?
Really unique, this place. Definitely working Marte away again, Greg. You know what you were talking about, how he said he's kind of changing his at bat. Well, that's one of the reasons. That's why you pitch inside, is to try and get a hitter to do that. To maybe he'll give up something away.
Base hit to right.
But that pitch was up and away and banged nicely in the right field. But a lot of pitchers, the old school thought is that down and away area, not necessarily up and away, but down and away, that if the hitter is covering that, well, then you're not doing your job well enough pitching him in. So you shouldn't be able to hit those down and away balls. And that's where the saying, keeping the hitter honest, really comes from. Because that down and away part of the strike zone was always thought to be yours. And if he's stealing base hits from there, you got to pitch him inside to keep him honest.
Now Cervelli. They look for a double play ball, and Joe Madden has had a quick hook with Hamill at times.
This was that last at bat. Look at the cluster down there. Everywhere he was trying to be pitched down and away, and there the ball was down and away. That's the area where pitchers love to be able to put the ball in and not have to worry about giving up any base hits at all.
Well, Marte wanted to go, but one of those stumbles again and shuts it down.
No water over there now. It's dry as could be.
It is obvious the Pirates do not have a red light for Starling Marte. They will let him go under any circumstance, 8-0 or not, here in the 6th. And even the Cubs will throw over, ahead 8-0. Go figure. The Pirates have had comebacks down 8-0 4 times in their history.
Four times?
Yep.
Didn't seem like that many.
Ball, 2 strikes.
Was one of them that game against the Astros?
And there he goes. And into center field. Crazy stuff. You're ahead 8-0. First of all, your man goes, steals a base, and then you throw it into center field, and a run scores. 8-1. Baseball's a crazy game.
They're thinking very old-fashioned.
Marte's 10th steal. Error on Ross. It is 8-1.
Infield back. Opportunity to get another run home now. Headed to 6. That'll do it.
A swinging bunt. Bare hand, no. Infield hit. Cervelli gets the RBI, and it's 8-2. Here comes Chris Bosio, the pitching coach. As we said, Joe Madden has had a quick hook at times for Hamill. A couple times this year and last season, the second half. Bryant lets it go, and he's got bullpen action, a lefty and a righty up, does Joe Madden.
Well, he gave up that bullet to start the it got shot off the wall, and then Marte's ball was hit fairly hard to right field on a mistake pitch. And the pin is going.
Clayton Richard is the lefty, Adam Warren the righty. Starling Marte gets a base hit and a stolen base and scores a run. One on Jung Ho Kang. He has struck out and flied to center.
Some hit one in the bushes in center. Big home run swing. Thought it was a fastball, and there's that down and away spot again.
And that is the first out. 6th K for Hamill.
Pretty good curveball. Bryant. He's in at third base, not giving him that bunt like he was earlier. 2 outs.
That's a double play ball. Pirates get 2. It is 8-2 Cubs. Jacob Haw helps raise funds for Clint Hurdle's Wins for Kids. We find out what's behind the Pirates celebration move and much more inside Pirates baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network today after post-game on Root Sports. (8-2) Cubbies. Jason Hamill on his way to going 5-0. Gives up 2 runs, 1 earned. Cervelli gets an infield RBI single. Top of this 6th. Fowler faces Vogelsong. Hoping for a better birthday present for John Gardner, Judy's husband. Judy works in the school board room at PNC Park, and her husband John celebrating his birthday. 1 ball and 1 strike, but still time, and the wind blowing out. Never know here at Wrigley. Jaso goes down to get it, and Vogelsong gets to the bag.
Play kind of slow developing there.
Yeah.
For a moment, but Fowler ended up beating that one out. But they got him.
Hayward has reached base in each of his 3 at-bats. Liriano went 4 2/3, 8 runs, 9 hits, walked 3, struck out 7, and gave up 3 home runs.
Earlier we were talking when Soler was up that one of the few things that haven't gone right for the Cubs is Soler off to a slow start. And I guess you could also say Hayward is not what they were hoping, at least to this point. Low batting average, and still looking for his first long ball this season.
He has said he's not terribly concerned, that this is kind of typical for him, these slow starts. 1 year ago today, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, so he's ahead in the RBI department. Two on Hayward. Came to the big leagues, of course, with Atlanta. Cardinals made a run at him to keep him in St. Louis after this year, but he signed the big contract with the Cubs. Lines this the other way, and they had him played perfectly. 2 outs. Vogelsong came on to face Jason Hamill after the Ross home run, struck out the pitcher. He's gotten Fowler and Hayward. Now it's Chris Bryant.
Getting tied up on that one. You know, there's most of the time you can see a guy with a bad swing, he's guessing fastball and gets a breaking ball. That's looking breaking ball and got a fastball. Perfect example of that.
Vogelsong, nice work. 3 up and 3 down, strikes out Bryant. Bucks trail by 6.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Jordy Mercer leads off against Jason Hamill and takes a strike. UPMC scoreboard. Cubs up 8-2. Mercer chases 1-2. Jason Hamill's 55th career start with the Cubs. Came in with a record of 4-0 and a 1.85 ERA, 4th lowest in the league. Appeared in the big leagues with Tampa Bay, Colorado, Baltimore. 2 go-rounds with the Cubs. And Oakland. Hamill was involved in the Jeff Samardzija deal. Adam Warren, Clayton Richard loosened in the bullpen once again.
Might be just a base runner away from coming out of this game. Always seems to be a guy on the staff that they're going to go after real quick. Get him out of there early.
Joe Madden praised Hamill the last time he took him out after 5 innings. Said, you know, a lot of pitchers would have said something, griped. He didn't say a word. Was cheering on his teammates. His manager certainly appreciated that professional attitude. Sean Rodriguez will pinch hit for Vogelsong. And Mercer fouls out.
There's another thing that a lot of players don't understand, a lot of pitchers don't understand. That their managers do care about their stats also. And if they have a big lead, they don't want them to go out there and give up cheap earned runs when they've already thrown 100 pitches. If they got a well-rested bullpen, they'll let somebody come in and pitch the last 3 innings.
7 strikeouts.
A good manager they'll know how to protect that starter's earned run average.
Sean Rodriguez, they don't forget, he and Eric Hinsky were being a bit chippy last time at PNC Park.
Sean was in the middle of the scrum there in October also.
Yeah. Yep, look out. Fans love that one. 8 Ks for Hamill. Let's go back to the studios. Dan Potash in a game break.
All right, guys, the Colorado Rockies will be in town next weekend, and you will not see Jose Reyes on the field. The veteran, who's not played this season due to a domestic violence incident in October, will be suspended until May 31st. In all, he will miss a total of 60 games without pay. His decision to not appeal the suspension means he can begin a rehab assignment on June the 1st. Boys, see you on the postgame show.
Okay, Dan, and so really that just buys the Rockies some time when they're eventually going to have to be faced with the situation that is Jose Reyes. Trevor Story getting the opportunity at shortstop, setting all kinds of rookie records at the beginning of this year. And we got the impression when we were in Denver that the Rockies would just as soon have that whole thing go away. But eventually, once he's done his rehab and his suspension is over, what will they do? As Dan Potash just said, we won't see him at PNC Park. David Ross going to the mound to talk to Hamill. He's reached the 100 pitch mark. The Pirates do have a 1-game makeup to be played, don't they? June the 9th. Go to Denver to play that 1 game in the middle of a homestand. They play the Mets on a Wednesday night at PNC Park at 7:05, then fly to Denver, play an afternoon game against the Rockies, then head right back to Pittsburgh and continue the homestand against the Cardinals on Friday the 10th. 2-1 on JSO. Jared Hughes will be the next Pirates pitcher. Draws the walk. Here comes Andrew McCutchen. Here comes Joe Madden. It's going to be it for Hamill, who will leave with a big lead. 6 2/3 innings. Madden says, good job. Fans recognize him. Here at Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs leading, going to the new pitcher, Adam Warren, up by 6. Big crowd on hand on a beautiful day here at Wrigley Field. Not so great for Bucco fans, but I mean, McCutchen can get a hold of one. Make this interesting.
Yeah,
Adam
first
Warren.
pitch, a real good slider down and away. Warren does have an excellent hard slider. Throws in the upper 80s.
Hamill watches.
Keep an eye on him, make sure he's rooting his teammates on. Right?
Oh, come on now. Don't root him on.
He was praised for that, right?
Yeah. Heard a story once about a manager who, I don't know, years ago went into a clubhouse and just gave it to the pitching staff because he had heard there were some guys that were grumbling. He said, I'll get your ERAs up. Just watch me. Roll to third. And McCutchen retired.
I think I remember that talk.
Hey, you want to go for
Heading to the bottom of the 7th inning at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Nissan presents the road ahead. Jake Arrieta tomorrow afternoon. Coverage begins at 1:30. Jeff Locke for the Bucks, and Sunday it's John Lester against Garrett Cole. Jeff Locke looking to even his record. Sean Rodriguez stays in the ball game. He's now at shortstop. And here's Rizzo facing new Pirates pitcher Jared Hughes.
Jared's numbers for the season hasn't had much work. Came on very late because of the problem with his shoulder. Had to spend the first month or so on the disabled list.
Rizzo hit a double to center field his first time up and hits this to shallow left. Marte coming in. So Rizzo 1 for 4. Francisco Liriano, the long ball did him in. 3 homers. Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, and David Ross. Couple runs scored for Zobrist in this one. 27 runs scored by Ben Zobrist, tied for second in the National League. Cubs have the lowest earned run average in the National League at 267. The team batting average of 263 is 6th. They were second in runs scored coming in to the Cardinals. Top on base percentage in the senior circuit. You really have to go searching to find any weaknesses on this club.
Kind of reminded me a little bit, Greg, of going and playing the New York Mets in the 80s. Later 80s. That's kind of the hump that the Pirate team back then had to get over. The Mets were so dominant, they had everything, starting pitching, bullpen, hit, they hit home runs, didn't matter. They had to find a way to beat them. That's kind of the now that's where a great team for a number of years. And Cubs are just kind of coming into their own for the last half of that last season, and now of course this year. But still, it looks like they're starting to put that kind of a run together. They will have a lot of pieces in place for quite some time.
A lot of smiles in that dugout. Dexter Fowler got a piece of that last year. The team, of course, went to the postseason and shut out the Pirates, then beat the Cardinals in the division series, and on to the National League Championship Series against the New York Mets. I feel like there's some unfinished business. Jason Hayward was on the losing side with the Cardinals last year. Cubs won 97 games. The Pirates won 98. And to center field. And McCutchen there. Soler retired, and for the second straight inning, Cubs go down in order, leading 8-2.
from the third. Safe.
Fantastic images from the Allegheny Health Network Supermoto, the sounds of Jonathan Jackson and E-Nation. Chris Bryant has bounced around the diamond since busting into the big leagues last year, and he moves to left. Taking over now at third base is Javier Baez. First pitch from Clayton Richard, the new pitcher, is outside to Gregory Polanco. Clayton Richard was with the Pirates last year in the minor leagues and eventually signed with the Chicago Cubs. The veteran appeared in 22 games, made 3 starts for the Cubbies. Polanco puts a charge into one against the lefty. There's a line drive up against the wall. Oh,
You know, that's the
he's on base
second
for the
time
third straight
this year
time.
we've seen one of the Pirates rip off their elbow guard, throw it away, and on the next pitch, drive one for extra bases. Marte did the same thing during the last homestand. Something about that elbow guard. They should stop using them. He just took it off, threw it to the backstop, and then the first pitch he sees, whack. Heck with that elbow guard.
There it is.
It's not working. The heck with it. Throw it away.
That's his 5th hit in 23 at-bats against a lefty this year.
Wasn't it Marte did the same thing? Took it off, threw it away, whack.
Welke, head of the grounds crew, came over and talked to him about the weather radar. There is bad weather approaching.
Yeah, the sun is now gone that we had earlier. The clouds are starting to come over, and there are a lot of thunderstorms out there A little bit to the northwest. Coming our way. Cahill's numbers this year doing a real good job not giving up hits. But he has been walking some people. 9 walks in 13 innings. Not doing him any favors. Down by 6. Trying to be conservative. And make sure he's throwing strikes.
Polanco at second with nobody out here in the 8th. As the pitcher, second baseman will backhand and throw late. Zobrist to first, infield hit for Marte.
Greg, do you think Marte is the best right-hand hitter you've ever seen getting infield hits? I mean,
I can't think of anybody better.
It's just. I know it's not once a game, but it sure seems like it is. Kendall was pretty good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. I'll see if Marte takes off here.
I would imagine he would, huh?
I mean, why not? The score does not matter. Yep, there he goes. And in there with a stolen base.
Guess Zobrist wasn't watching Phillips, huh? Tell me this isn't the identical play. Watch the hand. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. The only difference was, you said, Brandon Phillips put his glove and kind of pushed the hand off of it.
Right. You know, Joe and I were talking the other day that with replay, the way infielders and the catcher, for that matter, the way they go about tag plays now, they need to teach it much differently.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been saying this for a couple of years. The game has changed because of replay. They're changing the game.
You have to change the way you tag runners. A guy can be safe for a mile.
Yep.
But you got to leave the tag on him all the way through the slide, all the way to the very end. Or don't take it off.
Even push the hand off a little bit.
Yeah.
Off the bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
In and out call.
Well, that's not reviewable.
Oh, that's right.
It's only whether he came off or not.
Right. Well,
you can't review whether it was pushed
right.
off or not.
Well, then good. Push him off.
That's what I said. It's part of the game now.
Still 1-2 on Cervelli. I want to let you know the 6th annual Perfect Pitch Camp for the Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf, hosted by the Allegheny Valley Bucks Baseball Club, takes place tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Lakeview Athletic Club. Free for any children who are deaf or hearing impaired. The Parrot's going to be there, Grant Jackson, other Pirate alumni. Camp focuses on providing quality instruction in a fun way, help keeping children active while enjoying the game of baseball and softball. Please contact the Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf for more information. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. at the Lakeview Athletic Club. Andrew Stroop will be joined by the lefty Travis Wood. And a fly ball to shallow right. Hayward's throw. One hopper. One out.
That's definitely one thing that Hayward gives you, even if he's not hitting well. He's a very good outfielder. A strong, accurate arm. Earlier we were talking about momentum. The way that the Cubs are so quickly getting people up in the bullpen, making pitching changes. My guess is in the Cub bullpen or the Cub dugout, they feel a momentum shift. They've done a couple innings without doing much on the offensive side, where the Pirates have put up a couple of runs, threatening to put up a couple more, and it's like they're feeling, hey, we got to stop this. So they're on their third pitcher with two more waiting. With a 6-run lead.
There's the old scoreboard, manually operated.
Yeah, you can see what those guys are looking at, watching the game.
Jake Arrieta getting ready for the start tomorrow, huh?
You gotta have a beard even to work here.
Yeah. Fly ball to shallow center. Two outs.
That's one thing you got to do to. If you're a center fielder, you got to be able to clear the mound. You got to get that throw over the top of the mound. In this case, he didn't do it. And the mound almost knocked the baseball over toward the Cub dugout.
Josh Harrison at the plate. Right-hander Cahill keeps the Pirates off the board.
all-star season in 2015. He earned his 4th Silver Slugger, the most ever by a Pirate, and became just the 2nd Pittsburgh player to win the Roberto Clemente Award.
Point Park University tweet. The birthday celebration continues, crossing off another ballpark together, 9 down, 21 to go. Hashtag Let's Go Bucks, hashtag Wrigley Field. Kelly the Burns.
Right out in the front of the ballpark. We ran into a lot of Pirate fans out there when we were out doing our open right in front of the park.
Yeah.
Some from your neck of the woods.
A couple of folks from Mechanicsburg. Was it AJ and Jane? Chris Stewart now catching. Archimedes Caminero pitching.
Caminero off to a little bit of a slow start here. Early on, really struggling with his control. Nothing wrong with the stuff, though. Just off the belt buckle.
Russell's home run in the 4th inning was a 3-run shot, his 3rd of the year. Pirates had an important role for Caminero starting this season. He was really in line to be one of the setup men, and there's a drive to center field. And back McCutchen, he will make the catch. Russell flirting with a 2-homer game. 1 out. We'll bring up David Ross. Cheer on your Buccos on a Free Shirt Friday. Pirates take on the Rockies next Friday, 7:05. There's John Jaso modeling the free shirt you'll receive. First 20,000 fans get one. Presented by Mylan. Get your tickets at pirates.com/Free Shirt Friday. There's John Jaso, Pirates first baseman. David Ross also homered. You never know, the wind gusting out, how far a ball will be hit here at Wrigley Field. I've seen some tape measure jobs here. We're coming up on an anniversary, May 17th, 1959. Veteran Pirate fans might remember Roberto Clemente almost hitting the scoreboard. Ball hit just to the left of that historic scoreboard. May 17th, 1959, the great one. Many, including Ernie Banks, would say was the farthest ball they'd ever seen hit here. Two and two on David Ross.
Well, this is one of those ballparks, especially before they put up the new scoreboards, that when someone really hit a long one, you can watch it, see where it landed. Get way out on the street.
That's a little blooper to right field. Glenn Allen Hill hit one on top of that rooftop. Dave Kingman did also, if I'm not mistaken, back in the early 70s.
I remember seeing Sosa one time hit a ball down that street next to that building. into those green trees.
Javier Baez gets his first at bat.
And when you can hit one down the street, that's an old school ballpark. Down into those trees, there's a street right there that leads away from the ballpark.
Two outs. Baez retired. David Ross's home run was a 3-run blast in the 5th, made the score 8-0. It is now 8-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
This place is kind of like being a kid again. You can actually break a window with a home run ball.
Yeah. Kyle Schwarber hit one above that matrix board in right field. That's a long way. Should be a pass ball. We'll get Ross to second.
Yep, that one just a little too much movement. Cameron, he can drop down a little bit. And when he does get a lot of sideways spin on the ball, and it can jump right very easily, especially as hard as he throws. When he puts spin on a ball, there's a lot of it.
That one's cracked to right center. Fowler makes it a 9-2 game.
Not much movement on that one. Ball started to kind of start to fade a little bit, but Fowler able to get a double out of this. I was watching that tag out at second base, even though Fowler made it very easily. And what we were talking about earlier, Sean Rodriguez left the tag on him all the way until the umpire called timeout. Never really take his glove off of him, just to see what might happen. And that's a smart thing to do now. You would never see that before. The tags were always taught to be very quick, in and out. It'll show the umpire that the throw was there, that the ball beat him. Not anymore. Because that slow motion camera might show that real quick tag missed him by 1/4 of an inch.
Do you think that maybe in the minor leagues they should start teaching players
they have to
start doing that?
Have to.
I mean, even though there's not replay in the minor leagues.
On close plays 30 years ago, they would teach that the tag would be real quick. You get the glove down and get it out of there real fast. You know, you're showing the umpire, well, here it is, real fast. The ball beat him, the tag was down. Now, I don't think you could do that, because what if you make that real fast tag and you miss him by this much?
We've seen that.
Yeah, you got to leave it there, and you got to leave the ball on the guy. Leave the glove on him, whether he's safe or out. So, yeah, I'm sure that they have to talk about that really starting in rookie ball. This is the way you need to tag a guy. This is the way, even if you know a guy is going to be safe by a mile, leave the glove on him. See if he'll, just for a fraction of a second, lose his balance and step off the base.
Sean Rodriguez makes a fantastic play.
Always does somewhere.
Robbing Hayward of a hit and getting Caminero out of the inning. 9-2 Cubs. Flock will take the mound tomorrow afternoon against that man, Jake Arrieta. Game 2 of the series. Coverage begins at 1:30. Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason on Root Sports. An historic run for Jake Arrieta. Just unbelievable. Now one of 6 pitchers since 1913 to have their teams win 20 consecutive starts made by them. Lefty Grove, Whitey Ford, Roger Clemens, Chris Medlin of the Braves did it in 2010 through 2012. Here's Cole Figueroa just back. One down. And now Sean Rodriguez, who made a heck of a play against Jason Hayward.
A great diving stop up the middle, and not surprising, is it, Greg, that makes a great play with that glove?
It doesn't matter the score. He's
doesn't
all
matter
out
the
all the
position.
time, right?
You put him out in left field, he'll be making a diving catch out there in that corner. Wherever you put him.
Still not happy about that little incident. About a week and a half ago at PNC Park. And the wild card game, probably both things. Always fun to have somebody to root against. Nope. He's aboard.
Ruined his day. Huh? Ruined his day. Yeah. They could win this ball game here in a few moments, and he doesn't even care. He's mad that Sean got on.
He doesn't care.
He's mad that Sean got on. He's not going to like that either.
No. Defensive indifference.
think guys should do that with 1 out?
Do what?
Still second. Down 9-2.
Ask Starling Marte.
Well, I mean, because of the line drive.
Two outs.
Yeah, with 2 outs, absolutely.
McCutchen. Couple of hits. High fly ball to left. Gone. Chris Bryant back to the wall. McCutchen a 2-run homer, his 8th. And it's 9-4.
Oh, they want him to throw it back. No, keep it. Was that the ball? Did he touch the ball or not? Right down the middle. Touch gives this one a ride.
Pirates with 11 hits. Trail 9-4. Check it out.
Trying to see the replay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the home run ball is the one that came back in. I think that would be a little smart. You get an old ball from home.
My uncle used to do that.
Take it with you so you can throw that one back if you're lucky enough to get a home run ball.
He would bring an old chewed up baseball forever. He was out in Anaheim in the Angel games. Finally got a foul ball and threw it onto the field.
It was that one that got thrown out. That's too bad that that kid had to give up an Andrew McCutchen home run ball.
Yeah, I mean, just for the sake of this
crowd pressure.
Yeah. No, Dad, don't. Oh, there goes Andrew McCutchen's souvenir.
You know what's funny about that too is the ball goes over toward the dugout and it goes into the crowd. So somebody actually over by the dugout ends up getting the Andrew McCutchen home run ball
after all that
instead of that kid. It's just they got to figure out a different system here. That system doesn't work.
This is the place where they started allowing the fans to keep the baseballs. Bill Veeck. Many decades back.
But that ball that young man had to throw back ended up going to somebody in the crowd over here as a souvenir. I think actually the people that sit by the dugout are the ones that gave somebody the idea of that tradition because they knew they'd be getting the balls.
ball, 2 strikes. Hector Rondon is up in the bullpen, their closer, just in case. And this should do it. Cubs win the first of the 3-game series, rather convincingly again. Chris Bryant, part of the home run barrage, along with Addison Russell and David Ross, who had a 3-hit afternoon. In support of Jason Hamill, who goes to 5-0.
Well, obviously, Greg, the thing here with the Cubs is we got to start pitching better. We would have pitched better, then this game might have been a ball game. The Pirates did eventually put up 4 runs. And looking at tomorrow's game with Arrieta out there, you're going to have to pitch very well. You start the game thinking, okay, we might score 2 or 3, and going to have to really do the job on the mound in the next couple days.
Jake Arrieta tomorrow. For now, we go back to the studios. Dan and Teak.
Well, the Cubs picking up, I guess, right where they left off 2 weeks ago here at PNC Park on the North Shore. Pirates hoping for better results, but especially with Francisco Liriano going to the mound. Looking at the numbers coming in, we at least thought it would be a tighter game, maybe a lower scoring game.
Yeah, historically, Francisco had pitched very well against the Cubs, and he pitched very well against them for the first 3 innings today.
Yeah.
Obviously, the whole thing came apart for him in the 4th inning when the Cubs scored 3 and then 5 in the 5th, and he was already gone by the end of the 5th inning.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, presented by Miller Lite, and the Cubs' Jason Hamill was good in his last outing against the Bucks 2 weeks ago. Just a few ticks better this afternoon. He goes 6 2/3, allowed 1 earned run on 8 hits, and Teak, I guess the wind didn't get to him.
No, the wind didn't get to him, and he also, for the first time this year, over the 100-pitch mark.
Oh, yeah.
That was an area that Joe Madden was not allowing him to get to previously. Today, he allowed him to go to 103 pitches, I believe it was, and, good game for Hamill. He was pretty consistent all day long, keeping the ball where he wanted to, keeping the Pirates' bats at bay. They scored a few later, but Hamill, he did his part.
Still to come, extended highlights and analysis of the game that you just saw between the Bucks and Cubs, player reaction, Clint Hurdle's post-game comments, and much more. Pirates post-game, presented by Allegheny Health Network, is on the other side of the break.